Okay, what we're dealing up to now is the central nervous system, which is a part of the nervous system. Now we are going to do the second part of it, which is the peripheral nervous system, and it's basically just made up of nerves only. Okay, and its main function is to connect the external world with the internal part of our body, or how we respond to external changes. So that is the work of the peripheral nervous system, and it's made up of just nerves, and there are 12 pairs of nerves. That means 24 nerves that come from the cranial part, the head, and 31 pairs, 62 nerves from the spinal cord. Okay, so all of these nerves, they connect the outside world to us. And the second part of the nervous system, the third part of the nervous system is autonomic nervous system. It's a complicated system for which we just have to know it just operates because of two systems. One is the sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. When each of these systems are activated, they bring certain changes in our body. For example, sympathetic system prepares the body for a fight or flight action. Here, fight or fight action. At night, when you're walking, suddenly hear a sound, and then you're activated for any kind of action. Okay, so you're ready for a fight, and then suddenly you see it's a dinosaur. So you don't want to fight with it, so you want to flight, or you want to run away from it. So that is what the body, sympathetic system prepares the body for. Okay, now under its influence, the body cannot exist for a long time. Everything has to come back to normal conditions. So that is brought about by the parasympathetic system. Parasympathetic system brings everything to normal conditions. Okay, so that is the work of the autonomic nervous system. And it works because of hormones. Hormones control the working of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems. Alright, now we move on to the endocrine system, which actually produces the hormones which control. One of the functions of the endocrine system is to control the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems. Endocrine system is made up of the endocrine glands, and they produce hormones. So that is all you need to know about endocrine glands. What is the endocrine gland? It is a system made up of endocrine glands, and these glands produce hormones. What are the endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are glands which do not have ducts, or ductless glands. Glands, you can just think of them as bags, and then a duct is a pipe. Everything that it secretes, the fluid that it secretes, these are made of cells. So the secretion is taken away by a duct. So that is an exocrine gland. Exocrine gland is a gland which has a duct, and it produces enzymes. So enzymes is taken out. For example, salivary gland. We have salivary gland at the bottom of our tongue, which produces saliva. And that saliva is brought to the bottom of our tongue because of ducts. If a gland has a duct, and if it produces enzymes, it's called exocrine gland. But if a gland does not have any duct, it's ductless. Where is it? If it's ductless and if it produces hormones, then it is an endocrine gland. Now we just need to study, there are many endocrine glands in our body. We just need to study 4. Pancreas, adrenal glands, thyroid gland, and the pituitary gland. 4 glands only, okay? And we need to know, according to the syllabus, we just need to know the location, the names of these 4 glands, location, its secretions, and the function. Now secretions, not all the hormones that they secrete, just a few of the major hormones that they secrete. Okay, so the pituitary gland is also known as the master gland. It is located in just below the brain. It is actually attached. The word attached is required by the concept. Attached to the hypothalamus, that's the bottom of the brain. Okay, it is attached to the bottom of the brain. And the pituitary gland actually consists of 3 different parts: anterior, intermediate, and posterior. And these parts are called lobes. I'm just going to draw it here. So these are the 3 parts of the pituitary gland. It's attached to the brain. Okay, so this is the brain attached to the bottom of the brain. So anterior, intermediate, and posterior lobe. And they secrete a lot of different hormones, but we're just going to deal with 3 hormones that they secrete. Anterior lobe secretes growth hormone. Okay, that's its secretion. it brings about overall growth of the organism. Secondly, intermediate lobe. This intermediate lobe secretes melanocyte stimulating hormone. Okay? Now melanin is the brown pigment that we have on our skin, the brown eyes, our hair. So all of these are brown pigments, okay? Now this is the one that actually gives us the skin color. More brown pigments, darker we are. Less, we become fair. So melanocyte stimulating hormone and the exposure to light, so sunlight especially, enhances the secretion of melanocyte stimulating hormones. It darkens the skin. And this melanin actually prevents the harmful rays of the sun to, damage the underlying tissues. The second hormone is the thyroid hormone, which is found, if this is the voice box, it's wrapped around it, okay? So near the larynx of the voice box location, thyroid gland. It also secretes several hormones, but we're just going to deal with thyroxine, which is the main hormone. It requires the presence of iodine for its formation. Okay? What it does, it brings about the overall health. It enhances the metabolism or the reactions inside the cell, and it also regulates the body temperature. So these are the work of thyroxine. The next hormone, the next endocrine gland is the adrenal gland. Now, adrenal gland is located on top of each kidney. And if this is the kidney, adrenal gland forms a triangular structure on top of each kidney. Okay? So this adrenal gland actually secretes many hormones, more than 40-50 hormones. Okay, that you'll study in class 10. But for now, just understand it secretes adrenaline. Adrenaline. Small correction here. Adrenaline, its work is to activate the sympathetic system and gets our body ready for any action, okay, during an emergency. And it also secretes noradrenaline, which activates the parasympathetic system to bring the body back to normal conditions. For example, if you see an accident and you see, all intestine spilled over on the ground, you don't feel like eating. So all your hunger, the feeling of hunger and all is changed. It's the internal body's condition is changed by sympathetic system. But you cannot remain in that situation or in that condition for a long time because you may faint, etc. In order to continue your normal body, normal body functions, the parasympathetic system has to overtake, and that is controlled by the noradrenaline, which is also secreted by the adrenal glands. And the last of the endocrine gland that you need to study is pancreas, is found beside the stomach or behind the stomach. Okay, it also secretes a lot of hormones, very important hormones. Well, the most important one is insulin. It lowers the amount of sugar in the blood, or it lowers blood sugar level. Okay, that is the work of pancreas. Another thing about pancreas is it's an exocrine gland as well as an endocrine gland. It is an exocrine gland because it secretes pancreatic juice, which is a digestive enzyme. So here it also has a duct. Okay, so because of the presence of duct, endocrine glands have ducts and enzymes. So pancreas secretes enzymes as well as it has duct. Therefore, it is an exocrine gland. It is also an endocrine gland because some parts of the pancreas will secrete insulin, and this is not carried by insulin is not carried by ducts. Okay, it's taken straight away by the blood vessel, not the ducts. And this is a hormone. Therefore, it's also known as an endocrine gland. And this insulin lowers blood sugar level. So this is all you need to know. And I'll be posting assignments, okay, questions, a list of questions. You should be able to answer all of that. But I will try and send the answers to it also. Okay. Now, if you copy everything in your exercise copy by pausing the video, etc., you'll be able to make a note for yourself. Right? Keep safe.